Hello, CFA Nation. Gabe.
Nick.
And we are here today for another installment of Cricket Tuesday. Now, Nick, before we jump into the video, yes, guys, go ahead. Timestamp. Still haven't gotten to the video. Yes, for those of you that love to keep track.
This early?
First and foremost, I gotta rant a little bit. What am I gonna rant about? All right.
Time.
First and foremost, Nick, you know, our video, for the first time ever, we didn't have a Cricket Tuesday video. Not because we didn't try, but because they come and block little old us. Are you serious right now? You should be ashamed of yourself. You should be, to be fair, John Boy got a video taken down and blocked too, and he's much larger media than we are. Like, what is wrong with cricket? We're promoting your game, stupid. Really? We're doing your job. We're doing your job. Bro, it's just like Major League Baseball. Why don't young people like our game? Maybe because you take the fun out of it. What's wrong with you? All right, we're doing it for free. You're the worst. You're the worst. Oh, I was so mad that video got blocked. That's rant number one. Yeah, rant number two, Nick, for all my English friends, all right? That's right, USA, USA, USA. USA shuts out England at home in the World Cup. Shuts out England in the World Cup. Can we get some love? Can USA get some love? They love sticking us in the bracket of death, all right? Bro, explain to me. I don't understand. Argentina
USA should have won that game too.
Bro, but Argentina loses with the greatest of all time, all right? Messi, the greatest of all, loses, right? Do they get any hate? Did they get any hate? Oh, Germany lost to like Japan or something. Germany lost to Japan, right? USA, you can't. USA is like, people are like, USA tied their first game and you know, barely tied against England. First of all, not only did we tie England, we shut them out in a World Cup, and they're ranked number 5. Give us our due, all right? Holding court, cousin. That's right, USA, USA. Guys, I'm telling you, you don't want us to get a cricket team because God forbid that the USA team starts putting up, it's good. We're obnoxious. You think we're obnoxious right now? You still haven't been to Texas. You haven't met any Floridians. You think we're actually tamed Americans. It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. We're watered down Americans. And rant number 3, Nick.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be a third rant. All right? Okay. We're almost there. Nick, right now, I'm not understanding why on God's green earth the next series is Australia versus the West Indies. Shouldn't there be a requirement or something? Do we even gotta watch the game? What? Everybody hit me up Twitter. Gabe, are you gonna join Jack to watch Australia versus the West Indies? Really? Wait, why? What? Nick, shouldn't you earn the right to play in Australia? I mean, seriously, what do you guys expect to happen? It's going to be an embarrassment. Give the West Indies something they can handle. All right. Is Nepal out there? Give us, West Indies.
I was gonna say, I don't think the USA is available right now.
Dude, everybody's hitting me on Twitter. Oh, Jack's gonna be streaming it. You know, to what? To see the West Indies get their brains beat in? Come on, man. I mean, and now I'm done with the rant. Nick, how are you today?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Obviously better than you. I don't have the trifecta of rants all set up and ready to go. Now, the thing about the England-USA is England outplayed USA for about the first 15, 20 minutes, and then it was all USA the rest of the match. Couldn't get that goal home. They had 2 really, really good chances that they kind of squandered. England had some decent chances, but never really, in my opinion, none of those kicks were going to be really too close. They actually had one really good chance and went over, just like what happened to USA. But that was great to see because they were saying during the broadcast that beforehand the experts were like, it's not about if England will win, it's how much will they win by.
How many goals are they going to win by?
Yeah. So that was good to see. Hey, USA, they're like the babies in the tournament, right? They're like youngest team out there on average. That's what I like to hear coming to World Cup. Get some experience, get that kind of stuff, and then watch out for us in the future. But we're going to check out a video today that has nothing to do with any of that. Okay. Gabe doesn't even know what the video's on today. We're looking at Cricket Raaz again, and we're looking at Viv Richards again. This video, the thumbnail says, "I will kill you." Okay. The video says when Viv Richards threatened Wasim Akram and Imran Khan betrayed his protege. Okay. Kind of confused by that title there, but I think, maybe he felt betrayed. I have no idea. Pakistan versus West Indies. So I don't know this story, but when I hear a threat from a cricketer, if it happened on the field, I have no idea when it happened. That makes me interested because you don't see that too much in the gentleman's game, especially in the era of the gentleman's game.
I can tell you right now what happened without having watched this video, bro.
Oh.
Come on, Wasim Akram is king of the swing, right? But Pakistan were known for those bouncers. I guarantee you, he hit Viv Richards. Viv Richards didn't like it, and again, we learned.
And the West Indies weren't known for bouncers.
But remember, why did the West Indies become that way? Because they got beat up a lot, right? By England and Australia. So they got that, like, okay, we're gonna light you up like a Christmas tree. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. But that doesn't mean that when you get hit, you just wear it. Like, yeah, we got guys that hit hard too.
Everyone that went against the Four Horsemen had to wear it.
It hurts, cousin. It hurts. You know what I mean? In the heat of the moment when it hits you, it hurts. Or when that ball just comes by and you just like, you know what I mean? Like your reaction is just to react that way. I don't think he meant he was literally going to kill him, but I think that he's like, bro.
Well, no, I don't think he's going to kill him either.
You know what I mean? You really want to smoke? You know what I mean? That's what it happens. And, it's, again, it's one of those things where I've not ever been hit by a cricket ball, right? But I've been hit by baseballs. We both have. And I've been hit by baseballs that don't even come as hard, and nearly as hard as these guys throw. And, bro, 80 was enough to have me just, hurting, bro. So could you imagine when these guys are throwing high 90s, high octane?
Especially a little mixture of the old dirt there, the bouncing off the ground, a little salt in the wound. No, thank you very much. I don't want any part of that. It's the point, like, whenever we do get out there and play cricket like ourselves, I'm going to be like, how much do I have to pay you to make sure you don't hit me with that ball? I really don't need that.
How much would they have to pay you to pull a Pierce? Don't embarrass America here, Nick.
Don't
you embarrass America. If Pierce Morgan did it, Americans should be able to do it. How much would you?
If someone is actually going to pay me money, it would have to be enough to like pay off the new car that we got a year or so ago. It would have to be that kind of money, right? I'm not going to ask for a ridiculous amount, but it's got to be worth it. Like when I go home and I'm hurting and I got those bruises and I'm like at work, like, oh man, I at least want to know at least the car's paid off, something like that.
Just the car, just the car to stand in against Brett Lee. That's it. Just the car.
If they were going to offer me, we're talking about like 25 grand, 30 grand. They're going to offer me that to take are you kidding me? I'll take that.
CFA, we are starting a GoFundMe. Because I would have put Nick.
You're going to get a long line of people who are going to travel to the U.S. Please, hey, that could be our own fundraiser. You want to be me? It's going to cost you some money.
Han will be the #1 donator. Oh, yes. Get him in front of Brett Lee just so you can get lit up like a Christmas tree. 25? That's it. That's all I got to pay. CFA, we're starting a GoFundMe.
Listen, you got to also pay Brett Lee. But maybe it could be you can be me, okay? That'll also be a long line, and I'll see that line of like, oh, my. Where's the hockey padding at? But we're going to go ahead and check out this video. It's 9 minutes in, Gabe. You're ridiculous. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like anything about what we're talking about here, especially if you like the opportunity of beaming one Nick here. I know a lot of you are excited about that. But let's go ahead and see what it's all about because I'm going to go out on a limb and say you're wrong. Ooh. And we're going to see what's really going on here. All right. Here we go.
In the movie 1983, there is a scene where the entire Indian team is staring in awe at an incoming batsman. This
Yep.
terror of a batsman
I
is
love that scene,
supposed
by
to
the
be
way.
Vivian Richards, who
Absolutely.
even today, after
She
30
with his
years of
gum,
his
just chill
retirement,
it.
is seen as one of the most dangerous and destructive batsmen cricket has ever seen. And it wasn't just his cricket that people were in awe of. Such was his swagger, his fearlessness, that in the 17 years that he played cricket for, facing the most dangerous pace bowling cricket had to offer, he not once wore a helmet.
That
I had
is
no fear
stuck
about
out.
any particular bowler, whether he was going to knock my head off or anything. It was something that I said, if I die out there, die.
Such was his
If he
ferocity that
dies, he
many captains
dies.
playing at the time had gone on record saying that we used to warn our team, no matter what you do not sledge Vivian Richards. So
Oh,
here is my question. What happens
I
when
love it.
Vivian Richards, at the cusp of a historic, humiliating defeat, is sledged by a 21-year-old? Let's get to know the answer today in today's story, which begins in 1988.
I
Pakistan is
love
on a
it.
5 ODI 3 test tour of West Indies. The tour by itself was not special in any way, but what was special were the people involved. The first of whom had captained Pakistan in last year's World Cup, lost, and retired from cricket, which lasted all of 3 months. This was Imran Khan, the reinstated captain of Pakistan. On the other side, though, we had the
Tom Brady?
aging Vivian Richards, who himself could see the writing on the wall. His time on the pitch was soon to end, and with him, maybe the time of West Indian greatness would also come to a
Oh,
close.
is
I
that
don't
true,
use the
Gabe?
word great
Oh,
lightly here.
Look where we're
This
at now.
West Indian team had went on to win 2 World Cups. They had not lost a single test series in the last 9 years. At home,
Wow.
they had not lost a single test match in the last 10 years. And
Dude,
who,
that's
in
disgusting.
spite of Vivian
that
Richards
is
being out
disgusting.
injured, went on to sweep Pakistan 5-0. So, for Vivian Richards, this series at home was a matter of legacy. A legacy that was about to be threatened. On the back of Myanmar and Imran Khan's heroics, West Indies had been defeated by Pakistan in the first test. The 10-year
Oh,
long home
man.
stronghold had been shattered, with West Indies now staring down the barrel of a humiliating series loss. The Lions had been prodded, and the retaliation
That would be a big deal,
vicious.
for sure.
At the start of the second test itself, Malcolm Marshall and Winston Benjamin ripped through the Pakistani lineup. While on the batting
Ripped.
front, the old lion, despite being injured, returned. And despite fighting nausea and cramps throughout his time at the crease, hit a century. Viv Richards
Jeez.
was going to make sure that
Sir
as
Viv,
long as
baby.
he holds the reins, his team would not fall. In the battle that went on for full 5 days, among wild ups and downs, among nasty tempers and tantrums, with Myanmar once challenging the West Indian bowlers to hit him in the chest, and Richards
Oh.
once threatening the entire Pakistani team with his bat. Somehow, in the end, Pakistan
awesome.
managed to eke out a draw with just 1 wicket. And just guess who had decided to bowl that last over? Yep, Vivian Richards.
Oh.
As you can guess, come the third test, there was enough bad blood between the two sides that you could practically smell the gunpowder. All that was required was a spark. And so started the test. Pakistan made 309 runs in the first inning, with West
Wow.
Indies responding with 306. In the second innings, Pakistan
Jeez.
posted a total of 262 runs, with 266 runs being the final target. With 1.5 days still left, this match was poised perfectly. It was anyone's game. And
Yeah,
it was in
was.
this
Jeez.
scenario that entered Viv Richards. The crowd went wild, the Pakistani team went silent, with Captain Imran quietly throwing the ball over to Wasim Akram. Wasim Akram, at the time 21 years of age, had been tutored under the mentorship of both Imran Khan and Myanmar. So naturally, expectations were high, but somehow he had failed to do much in this series. But there was one thing he was doing very successfully. That
Bouncers.
is making Viv Richards' life a living hell. Richards was having a very tough time reading Akram's bowling. He had actually gotten out 2 times out of 3 batting stints to Akram. Now on day 4, with West Indies already losing 4 wickets, Pakistan was sniffing a victory. Wasim Akram had been given the ball to tame the tiger again. And among his first balls, bouncer.
Told
Richards,
you.
in a desperate attempt to avoid it, losing his cap in the process. The cap of the West Indian captain, nearly the crown of West Indian cricket, had fallen on the ground. And Akram, on seeing this, emboldened by the upcoming victory, jubilant over somehow troubling the world's best batsman, went close to Richards and said, "Go home, old man. Go back to your pavilion." A 21-year-old youngster was sledging the king. Richards, seemingly shocked, looked on the thin young bowler and replied, "I'll see you outside." A few balls later,
Oh.
the same scene repeated. Bouncer, cap, and sledge. This time though, Viv Richards spat on one side and calmly told the youngster, "Don't do this." The youngster somehow sobered up this time and he quickly went to his captain, relaying Viv's words. Captain Imran Khan though, he assured the youngster, "Don't worry about anything. Go ahead and scare him. I'm here." The captain had his back. So why would the youngster hold back? On he went, ball after ball after ball. Bouncers and sledging. It's to the
my
point that even the
gosh.
last over of the day
Okay.
was handed to Akram, with his last ball being.
A bouncer.
The Pakistani dressing room was a very happy place that day. All they had to do tomorrow was clean out Richards and 4 other lower order batsmen. The match was as good as done. They would return home, having toppled kings. Her laughter and cheering flowed out of the dressing room when a youngster quietly entered in and shouted, "Wasim Akram, come out of the dressing room." Akram asked, "Who's calling me?" But the youngster
Oh.
simply repeated, "Come outside." Confused, Akram got up and peeked out of the dressing room where he saw Vivian Richards
Oh.
standing without
Yeah.
his shirt, wearing his pads and boots, sweating all over, and staring at the dressing room door with a bat in his hands.
Oh my
Now, do remember,
God.
at that time, there were not that many TVs or media or even match referees. So there was nobody to interfere in the situation. And with this test match in West Indies, naturally, a terrified Akram
imagine?
nearly ran back to his
Wow.
captain, saying, "Richard is standing outside." The same captain that had actually told him to go ahead and risk Richard's wrath. He now quietly replied, "What should I do? It's your fight. Go and handle it." The shocked
What?
youngster tried to convince his captain, "You have developed such a good body. You are asking me with this skinny build to handle it." This time though, the captain didn't even reply. He just walked off, leaving the
Wow.
youngster behind. It's actually
Oh my
unclear how
gosh.
much time Wasim Akram had spent just standing there, digesting his captain's answer. But when he did move, he knew what he had to do. He turned and walked step by step, picking pace with every step he took. With clear intent in his demeanor, he pushed open the door and faced Richards. But before Richards could speak, Akram said, I'm sorry. Nothing like this will ever happen again. For sure." This sudden apology seemed to have caught the fuming Viv off guard. He stood there for some time, breathing heavily, staring down at the youngster. But finally, he said, "You better not, or I will kill you." Now, all of this may seem like an empty threat to us today, or even slightly funny somehow. But the thing is, after this day, for the rest of Wasim Akram's career, never ever, even by mistake, did he ever sledge Richards again. In fact, the very next day, he had actually gotten Richards out, nearly sealing the win for his nation. But even then, he did not utter a word. So even though you and me may think nothing of this threat today, but on that day, that young 21-year-old had taken that threat as a life lesson, a lesson that he had to learn all by himself. Now, about the match. Well, right at the start of the next day, West Indies would lose both Richards and Ambrose. But somehow, Benjamin and Dujon would become an unbreakable dam, standing tall amidst blistering Pakistani attack. They would go on to score a total of 61 runs to take West Indies to a victory. West Indies had won, and the series had been drawn.
Wow.
Richards' legacy and the West Indian crown had remained intact, the weight of which could be seen at the time in the West Indian dressing room, where Viv Richards was sitting in a corner, quietly crying his heart out.
Mm.
Thank you for watching this
Wow.
video. I hope you have a good day.
Okay, so I've never heard this before. Didn't know anything about this before. And we say it all the time, but I love the storytelling. I was captivated. That went by like in 30 seconds in my mind. That was obvious. First of all, that was a fantastic and crazy to believe story from the world of cricket, world of sports for that matter. I mean, I can't think of too many times really, even from the top of my head, where a player goes to the opposing locker room ready to duke it out, ready to handle it. And he told him, "I'll be waiting for you outside." and he actually carried out with it. Like, I have opinions about that. I understand you're heated at the moment, all this kind of stuff, but wow, I mean, you've got to be really, really ticked, and you're just like, fine, you're going to keep sledging me. I'm going to get my revenge. But I was so captivated, like, what is Wasim going to do? How is he going to handle this? And he handled it probably the way I would handle. I'm not going to lie. I'm not Gabe, former boxer, for crying out loud. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, man. It won't happen again. And luckily for him, that was the right thing to say. But I want to know your thoughts about this, because, again, it's not about machismo or whatever. You can handle yourself quite well. So I'm curious how you would handle it, still respecting the game of cricket and all that kind of stuff.
Can I be candid here?
Absolutely.
I'm from the West Indies, and I'm proud. I'm from the Caribbean, right? I root for the West Indies. I'm a fan of Viv Richards, but it's not a good look. And what I mean by that is,
Absolutely.
listen, the game's a game, right? It's on the field. Now, you want to sledge, whatever, we can sledge back or whatnot. And I get it. You know, he's on the tail end of his career. These youngsters barking in his face. It was probably more than just about Wasim Akram, and more that he's seeing his cricket mortality going down. With that being said, you keep it on the field. You know what I mean? And I'm like, as I'm loving the storytelling, I'm like so disappointed in Viv Richards that happened, but it happens. You know, again, I am not perfect. No man is perfect. Nobody's fallible. And I guarantee you, Viv Richards, you spoke to him today, would probably say that was probably not my best moment. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm almost even more perturbed at the captain of Pakistan, because you encourage it, and then you don't get you don't get in there to have your young players back. Like, you're a coward. You know what I mean? You're going to put him and throw him to the Lions and then expect this kid, you know what I mean? Like you said, look at my frame. You know what I mean? Like, yo, what am I supposed to do?
What am I going to do? Yeah.
You know, here's the thing, though, Nick. And again, that's why I'm like, I'm not going to throw any aspersions. Like, you want your athletes to carry themselves, you know, to a higher standard. But we're still men, and we still get emotional. We're still competitive, and it happens. But there's been tons of story. Carmelo Anthony went to the opposing team's locker room after the game because the guy was telling him how his wife Lala tasted or something like that. Just like talking smack to get in his head. Like, sometimes you take it too far. And yeah, you're a professional. You should be able to restrain yourself. But sometimes that's not the reality. You know, I think about the Palace, right? Where in Detroit, Pistons versus Pacers, Ron Artest got that drink thrown on him, and, you know, he lost his mind, went into the stands, beat the bricks out of some fan. Like, you know, it's not his best moment, right? But I'm not going to sit here and say in the same situation how I would handle if I got some young whippersnapper while my career's already on the twilight and on its way out, and I got the pressure of this loss mounting over my head, and he's sledging me, and then he's throwing bouncers on me. And you heard Viv Richards' mentality, like, look, man, if I die, I die. So I think it was a part of, yo, you try to take my head off knowing that I don't wear a hat. You know what I mean? I don't wear a helmet just to try, and you do it repeatedly, and then you want to talk smack about it too. Okay. Like, so I could see why he got emotional, but case in point, that was on you not to go out there without a helmet. That's you saying a statement saying, I'm such an imposing figure that you don't dare throw a bouncer at me. And this time the kid dared. You know what I mean? But it was a great story. Like you said, Cricket Raaz is such a great job storytelling. And man, I mean, I yearn for those days. I long for those days of dominance. 10 years without a home loss. Can you imagine?
10 years. And that's what I was thinking. Like, on one hand, you're like, would you expect to never lose at home? Right. But maybe after 10 years of everyone coming in, and you're always beating them, maybe you do get that. This is, you know, amazing soil right here. We just don't lose on it. I don't know. I think you're absolutely right on all accounts. Imran Khan, I don't know. I'm assuming he's telling us the truth here. I have no reason not to believe that. But that's total weak sauce, especially if you use the words, I got your back. Now, that's probably being paraphrased to some other phrase, but still, how are you going to tell him you got his back when you don't got his back if it's off the field? Like, give me a break. The fact that he just got up and just walked away, like, I'm not going to worry. Like, I wonder if there was some issues between those two, because Wasim Akram goes on to be a legend, just like Imran Khan. They both become legends. It's quite, and I think Imran Khan is like a politician or something like that at this point. So it's very, very interesting. Probably not his finest moment. but just the emotion, the sensitivity of we got to go to blows because I cannot take that disrespect.
Right.
You don't see that too much in this sport. It's good, honestly, for Viv Richards in his legacy to know that he didn't need to fight that day, that he was
Right.
able to breathe in ultimately and say, okay, just don't do it again or I'm going to kill you for crime. I mean, that got quite heated. I agree. It's not the best look, but man, I mean, that's intensity. That's craziness. And West Indies, they go on to win it the next day, and they're able to bounce back because they had that great partnership from the guys after Richards and who's it, Ambrose, whoever they said.
Curtly Ambrose, yeah.
Yeah, Curtly Ambrose. There you go. Absolutely a fantastic video. Thank you so much, Cricket Raaz, if you're watching this, for providing these videos for us. Please don't forget to go to his channel and show him some love. Don't forget to show us some love. Let us know what you want us to check out next for Cricket Tuesday. And with all that being said, until next time.
That's 6 runs.